Hello and good day. How was your week? Welcome to another 5 minute Sunday school lesson. We are still in Unit 2 through the Judges and Lesson 6, Ehud and Deborah judge God's people. Our memory verse is still taken from Psalms chapter 44 and verse 5. Through you we will push down our enemies, and through your name we will trample those who rise up against us. So last week we had started with Ehud the left-handed. This week by God's grace we'll be looking at Deborah, the strong woman. So under this division, Deborah, the strong woman, we'll be looking at two things in the life of Deborah: how she was blessed with the right quality and how she became a leader with great exploits. Let's follow on. So the story for our lesson today can be found in Judges chapter 4 from verse 1 to 23. For this first part of the lesson, we'll be looking at verses 1 to 9. The Israelites, they go wrong again as usual, and this time they fell into the hands of Jabin, the Canaanite king. They called on God again because they were strongly oppressed under Sisera, the Canaanite warlord, for a period of 20 years. At this time, God raised Deborah. Deborah was a woman. She did not also come from the tribe of Levi or from Judah. She came from Ephraim, a tribe that we do not often hear about. So God does not discriminate when it comes to who he will use for his work. It's not about your physical stature, your power or intellect. It's not about your position in the society. God qualifies those he calls. He probably does not call the strong, doesn't call the mighty, but when he calls, he makes the called mighty and powerful. Now, Deborah was a married woman, but she made herself available for the use of God. She was also a prophetess. She kept in touch with God, and she was usually sensitive to the move of God. As she was committed to God, she was also committed to the work that God had laid in her hands as a prophetess, as a judge, and probably as a wife. Now, one thing was that Deborah didn't just hear God. She put into action the instructions that God gave her. Many so-called prophets are out there today telling people, this is what God has told me. And many times they just declare these things to show off themselves or blow their own trumpets, and not necessarily to inspire some godly action. But when God speaks, he has reasons for doing so. So we should be sensitive to what he intends for us to do, and not just to show ourselves to the world. Soon we begin to see Barak, the Israelite captain, depending on Deborah to lead the battle, and he requested that Deborah go with him to the battle. Courageously, Deborah went forward to the battle, not necessarily with spears and with swords, but armed with her gift as an oracle of God to receive instruction on behalf of the Israelite army. In God's service, we all play different roles based on the different gifts that God has distributed to each of us. And each of our roles working together are for the common purpose of glorifying God. Summarily, we can say that Deborah was blessed with the qualities of availability for God's commitment to his work, sensitivity to his voice, and submission to his will. She was also blessed with the courage that took her out to the battlefront. Now to the second part of today's lesson, or division 2. We can find the story here in the remaining part of Judges chapter 4, this time from verse 10 down to 23. So Barak took advantage of Deborah's gift and partnered with her to war at the battlefront. He was not too proud to follow her lead. He sacrificed being the hero for the overall victory of Israel. He didn't mind who God would use to defeat Sisera. We already know that God had the whole battle planned out by himself. So he used Barak to scatter the Canaanite army, but eventually used the woman by the name Jael to take out Sisera. There is wisdom in knowing and following God's own strategy. So our overall lesson for this week is summed up
in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 for us to not trust in our own understanding, not trust in our own power, not in our own strength, but then to trust in the Lord with all of our hearts. God has his battle plan already drawn out. It is for us to just keep and allow him to use us for his purpose. God bless you, even as you have joined again this week. By the grace of God, we'll see again next week. And don't forget to subscribe. God bless you.